I have already made 2 videos on this topic, and I genuinely hope this will be my final one. I have said this twice, and I am here saying it again. If you really want to understand the fire burning in the Middle East, you have to stop looking at the map and start looking at the clock. Because right now, as we sit here in March 2026, we are not just in the 21st century. According to the Hebrew calendar, we are in the year 5786. And why does that matter? I'll tell you why. If you open the Talmud, specifically Tractate Sanhedrin 97a, it says the world as we know it will exist for 6,000 years. Now do the math. 6,000 minus 5786, that leaves 214 years. Just 214 years. Which means in this interpretation, we are living at the very end of days, the final stretch, the closing phase. Now, I read the comments on my last 2 videos. I saw few of you writing, "Brown Enlightenment, dude, you have got this completely wrong, man. Geopolitics doesn't run on eschatology. It runs on power, on border security, on money, on oil." And you know what? You are absolutely right. If you look at the surface, the men in the toilet suits, the politicians shaking hands by the cameras, the target is exactly that: land, wealth, security. That is the visible layer, the layer everyone sees. But let me ask you a very uncomfortable question. Who guides those world leaders? Their respective religious leaders. You cannot deny this fact. History is screaming it at you. Let me take you back to 2003. The United States is preparing to invade Iraq. The President of the United States, George Washington Bush, picks up the phone and calls the French President Jacques Chirac, trying to convince France to join the invasion. He tells the French President that Gog and Magog are at work in the Middle East. He says the biblical prophecies are unfolding.
Former French President Jacques Chirac has confirmed something that Bush told him back in 2003 when he was lobbying world leaders to go into Iraq. Bush came up to him and said, "Hey, we got to go into Iraq because the biblical creatures Gog and Magog are at work in the Middle East and they must be defeated."
Bush apparently started, this is January 2003, right before the war, he went off and started talking to Chirac about Gog and Magog. Chirac didn't know what the heck he was talking about. This tells us that, speaking of the dangers we face, our fate is sometimes in the hands of people who are, by any rational standards, hard to believe.
Absolute lunatic believing in fundamentalist mythology. And that was apparently part of the reason why we went into Iraq.
Now let me take you to 1990. A young Benjamin Netanyahu meets one of the most influential Jewish spiritual leaders of the century. And in that meeting, the rabbi speaks about the coming of the Jewish Messiah, the Mashiach. He says, many hours have already passed and he is still not here. And what does it mean to hasten the Mashiach? You don't hasten the Mashiach just praying quietly in a room. Before the Mashiach can arrive, before the Messianic age can begin, certain things must be done and dusted. Number 1, the land. Eretz Israel, greater Israel, from the river of Egypt to the Euphrates. That means borders must be redrawn. Territories must be captured. We are not just talking about Gaza. We are not just talking about the West Bank. We are talking about Lebanon. We are talking about Syria. We are talking about Jordan, parts of Iraq, parts of Saudi Arabia, and parts of Egypt. A massive sweeping empire. Number 2, the ingathering. The mass return of the Jewish diaspora from all corners of the globe. back to the Holy Land. In Hebrew, it is called kibbutz galiot, the gathering of the exile.
I love Israel.
Have Israel Chai.
Jacob, you know this is not your house.
Yes, but if I go, you don't go back. So what's the problem? What are you yelling at me? I didn't do this. I didn't do this.
But
It's
you
easy to yell at me, but I didn't do this.
are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is going to steal it.
No one is allowed to steal it.
Prophet said, after the destruction of our temples, you shall come back. You shall ingather the exiles.
But where do you put millions of returning people? You need space, you need land, you need housing. For that, you need Greater Israel. Now, number 3, the most dangerous geopolitical tripwire on the face of the earth. According to strict eschatology, the third temple must be rebuilt in Jerusalem. But there is a massive problem right now. The Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, one of the holiest sites in the Islamic world, sits exactly where the temple needs to be built. And the third temple is the ultimate requirement for the Messianic kingdom. You cannot have the Mashiach rule without the temple.
Mashiach is coming, and all the Jews are about to be brought back to the land of Israel. And the third temple is about to be rebuilt.
But how can you build a temple while the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa stand in the way? For over 13 centuries, it has been a stronghold of Islamic worship, the direction the early Muslims prayed toward before Mecca. But what was there before that? The second Jewish temple. Destroyed by the Roman Empire in the year 70 CE.
Rome is civilization. Rome is order. Rome is power. And out here, we are Rome.
We want to know what you're reading now.
What I'm reading?
Yeah.
It's a book by a historian by the name of Barry Strauss called The Jews Against Rome. Jews Against Rome.
What made you pick it up?
Well, we lost that one. I think we have to win the next one. Well, we lost that one. I think we have to win the next one.
And before that, the first temple, built by King Solomon, destroyed by the Babylonians. Here is the ultimate twist. King Solomon, the man who built the first temple, you know who is he for 2 billion Muslims? Prophet Sulaiman. Muslims do not deny that Sulaiman built a magnificent place of worship on that exact mountain. In fact, they celebrate it. But in Islamic theology, Sulaiman did not build a temple. He built a masjid, a mosque, a place of pure prostration to Allah. Do you see the absolute mind-bending tragedy of this? Do you see how tightly these histories are tangled together? And it doesn't stop there. Both of these civilizations trace their origin back to one man, Ibrahim. Both trace their bloodline back to the exact same patriarch. One through Isaac, one through Ishmael. Ishaq and Ismail, both are cousins, bound by the exact same Semitic DNA, bound by the exact same strict monotheism.
We have the same God as the Arabs. We believe in the same God, in one God. They come from the children of Abraham, of Ishmael. We come from Yitzchak, and they come from Ishmael. Allah. That's the Arab's God, the same God that we have.
Look at how they actually live their daily lives. A Jewish man follows halakha. A Muslim man follows Sharia. Different names, same idea. A divine law governing life from birth to death. Guiding how you eat, how you pray, how you wash, how you sleep, everything. A Jewish family eats kosher. A Muslim family eats halal. No pork, no blood, ritual slaughter. They both circumcise their sons. They both emphasize deep, structured fasting to purify the soul. Judaism has Yom Kippur, Islam has Ramadan. They both mandate charity to the poor as a pillar of faith. In Hebrew, it is called Sadaqah. In Arabic, it is called Zakat. When a Jewish person greets you, they say Shalom. When a Muslim greets you, they say Salam. Both words mean exactly the same thing: peace. Two communities who worship the exact same God, who share the exact same prophets, who eat the same way, pray the same way, and bleed the same way, yet somehow convinced that peace is only possible if the other one disappears. Two branches of the exact same tree burning each other to the ground. It isn't just a geopolitical war. It is the most tragic, heartbreaking family feud in human history. Children of the exact same father bleeding on the exact same soil. Now wait, there is a third player in this room. The most powerful player of them all, the Western Empire, the United States of America. Why does the most powerful military machine on earth fund this exact checklist? For that, you have to look at the religious engine driving American politics, Christian Zionism. There are millions of evangelical Christians in the West who read the exact same ancient scriptures, but they are reading it for a different ending.
Christian Zionism preceded Jewish Zionism and had a great influence upon it. It believes that all the Jews have to be put back into Israel in order for the second coming to take place, second coming of Jesus Christ to take place. This is their belief. Basically, the Christian Zionists were not doing this because they loved the Jews. They were doing it because of the desire to hurry on the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Think about the absolute madness of this alliance. The Messianic Zionists want to trigger the end times to bring the Mashiach. The Christian Zionists are funding them to bring back Jesus. But here is the darkest, most cynical twist of all. If you read strict Christian eschatology, if you read the book of Revelation, when Jesus returns, do you know what happens to the Jewish people?
What a lot of Jews do not know is that they're not doing it for us. They are doing it only for themselves. Make no mistake. They all believe that once we will go back to the Holy Land and J.C. Penney will show up to redeem the world, he will put us all to be burned in hell. That's what they believe. Why they are so generous? Why are they donating money to Israel? What do they care about Israel? The answer is because they believe the Messiah would come.
They are literally using each other as pawns to trigger two completely different versions of the end of the world. What about Muslims? Do they have an endgame script? Yes, they do. So while the Messianic Zionists are preparing the throne for the Mashiach, the Islamic world is looking at the exact same throne and preparing for the ultimate deceiver, Al-Masih ad-Dajjal, the false Messiah, the Antichrist.
The Jews will follow the Dajjal. Why? Because the Jews, they didn't believe that Isa alayhi salam really came. Remember, they believe that he's an imposter. Isa alayhi salam, remember in the Quran, Isa, the true Isa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lifted him. They didn't crucify him, nor they killed him. They killed someone else. Now the Jews who became Jews later on, they were the ones in the children of Israel who wanted to kill Isa alayhi salam. And they boasted, they said, we killed him. That's in the Quran. And they became the Jews. And what they're saying right now is, they're saying the true Messiah is yet to come. We are waiting for him.
Islam also believes in the second coming of Jesus to hunt down the Dajjal, the false Messiah. And why does he kill him? The gate of Lut. According to Hadith, do you know where the gate of Lut is today? In central Israel, just a few miles from Tel Aviv airport.
Prophet ﷺ said, when a Dajjal sees Isa alayhi salam, the actual Messiah, Jesus peace be upon him, when he sees Isa alayhi salam, he literally starts to dissolve and run, melts and flees away from him because he knows he's an imposter. And he knows that his time has come.
Look at the absolute terrifying symmetry of this. The Jewish hardliners are triggering a global war to bring the Mashiach. The Christian evangelicals are funding that exact war to bring Jesus to destroy. And the Muslims believe that the Mashiach the Zionists are waiting for is actually the Dajjal. And that the real Jesus will return to kill him at the gates of Israel. 3 ancient unbending prophecies. 3 massive global populations, all pointing their weapons, their money and their souls at the exact same tiny strip of desert. And who pays the price? It is people like my favorite corner tea shop uncle, scratching his head, staring at an empty gas cylinder. He doesn't know about Gog and Magog. He doesn't care about the book of Revelation. He has never heard of Practicality Sanhedrin 97a. He doesn't know where Al-Aqsa is. All he knows is no cylinder, no tea. No tea, no customers. No customers, no income. And me, his regular customer, missing my favorite chai in my favorite spot. Just 10 peaceful minutes. But no. Because somewhere, thousands of kilometers away, people are trying to figure out the end of the world. So while the world is asking, when will the Messiah come? Uncle is asking, when will the gas cylinder come? And the funniest part, both questions are being asked with the same intensity. Both questions feel equally urgent to the people asking them. Because not everyone is living in prophecy. Most people are living in practicality. Rent, bills, food, fuel, and one small luxury called chai. Tea. Hot, strong, 1.5 spoons sugar, served in that small glass with a perfect layer of foam on top, and 10 minutes of silence to sit, sip, and think. This is brown enlightenment, where we don't chase prophecy, we chase peace of mind.